Namaskar, myself Dr. APS Sohan, Professor Priya Sharir, Government Ashtanga Ayurved College, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Today I am want to share my thoughts, my views over the basic principle of Priya Sharir. The physiology which is described in Ayurveda text, the described by the rishis and acharyas of Ayurveda long ago, and you will find that their knowledge, their information, their description is is too much relevant in present scenario that the modern physiology that we understand, that we study, can be completely explained in our science, can be completely understood in our Ayurveda science also. So this talk of mine is for those students, for those scholars who are going to build their career in Ayurveda, those who want to study Ayurveda, those who want to looking future in Ayurveda. So this is one of the basic subject that one has to understand before going into deeper studies, going into further studies, going into research, or going any making any career in Ayurveda. So Kriya Shari, the physiology of human body, according to Ayurveda, is to be understood primarily before going to deeper in the science. So here we can see what is the subject is, what is the definition of the subject is. The Acharya Charak, the greatest rishi, greatest philosopher, father of medicine, we can say, has explained in his text that Sharir Vichaya Shariropkarartham Ishyate Gyatva hi Sharira Tattvam Shariropkarakaresu Bhaveshu Jnanam Utpadyate Tasmat Sharir Vichayam Prasasansti Kushla. It means that understanding our body, understanding our sharir anatomically and physiologically is very important to get the better health, to maintain the health, and the factors which are responsible for maintaining this good health can be understood only by getting through in this subject, the Sharira subject, which include the anatomy and physiology. And that is why it is said that Kriya Pratipadakam Shariram, Kriya Shariram. When we understand the physiology, when we study the physiology, it is Kriya Sharir. When we study anatomy of our body, then it is Rachana Sharir. So Kriya Sharir is the subject where we study analytically, in description, thoroughly, scientifically, minutely, thoroughly, the functions of our body is Kriya Sharir. So what is the need? Why do we study? Why should we study? That is very important thing. The second question is, the second thought is that why we should study. In the Kriya Sharir, Acharya says that uh, this is the subject, this is the science where we study the normal functioning of our system, the normal functions. By understanding this normal function, we can understand, we can rule out the abnormal functions. By understanding the abnormal function, we can diagnose the reason behind this abnormality. When we understand the abnormality, the reasons, then we can rule out that reason. Means if there is any disease, then we have to diagnose. How we will diagnose? We will diagnose with the abnormal sign and symptom. How we can understand the abnormal sign and symptom? Because we know the normal functioning of our body. So the purpose of studying Kriya Sharir is to find out the abnormality in our body, to rule out the abnormality in the body, the first, and then we can treat the patient properly. Means to get the ultimate aim of the physician, to get the proper treatment of the patient, one has to understand physiology properly. The second thing is by understanding Kriya Shari, the understanding of normal functioning, we can maintain the health because we know the normal values, then we can try to maintain it by our diet, by our lifestyle, by our uh, climatic changes, adaptation during these changes. So this is how we have to understand physiology. This is the reason that this subject is known as the base of the medicine. Base of the medicine is physiology. Now we come to know how this subject is evaluated in Ayurveda. As we know that Ayurveda science is a very old science, very eternal science, and it is originated with the origin of this universe. Lord Brahma, who created the world, Lord Brahma, who created this universe, at the same time, he has given the beautiful, this immortal science of Ayurveda to the world to keep, to maintain the health of human being for the mankind. And one must understand that Ayurveda is not only meant for our country, not only meant for India, it is meant for whole universe. For each and every country, the basics of Ayurveda can be applied to any country and any person in the world. There may be some changes, there may be some climate, and there may be some geographical changes, there may be some race, color are different, but the principle are the same and we can apply it anywhere. So when we are talking about the evolution, Lord Indra, who gave the Ayurveda science to the disciple, he gave in 8 parts. Vikaya, Bal, Graha, Urdhvang, Sal, Drashta, Jaravrashe. These 8 parts have taught Lord Brahma to Indra, and Indra gave to his successors, to his disciples. So we see that there are 8 branches of Ayurveda, but we don't find Kriya Sharir here. But when going through these 8 parts, you will find that Kriya Sharir is very much described in many places of these 8 parts, and most of the description you can find in Kaya Chikitsa. So the Kaya Chikitsa is the part among you can find the Kriya Sharir, the major concept of Kriya Sharir here. Apart from this, apart from Kaya Chikitsa, there are many concepts are scattered all over in Ayurveda. So Kriya Sharir can be understood in the Kaya Chikitsa. Secondly, after in the Samhita Kal, you can see Kriya Sharir in Charak Sharir Sthan, Sutra Sthan, Viman Sthan, Shushru Sharir Sthan, in Ashtang Hridaya, Ashtang Sangraha, Sutra Sthan, and even in Sharangar Samhita you can find Kriya Sharir very much. So this subject is all over. This subject is scattered everywhere, and it's a very beautiful and a basic concept of Ayurveda. Then we come to the fundamentals of Kriya Sharir. So there are many concepts in Kriya Sharir, and they are very unique. They are very important. They are very scientific. But we have to understand it properly. We have to understand it from a proper angle, and proper direction is needed. Proper vision is needed. Then only we can understand. Otherwise, it looks like philosophical. But if you see these fundamentals in a way that Rishi want to show us, that Acharya has told us, then you can understand it completely. So these are the important fundamentals: Tridosha, Saptadhatu, Malaha, Ojaha, Prakriti, Ahara, Mana, Atma, Indriya, and many more. But these are the main concepts that is included in Kriya Sharir. The most important is Tridosha theory. This is the most important theory that uh, we understand in Kriya Sharir. Three doshas. These doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and these are most important factors to maintain the health. All the functioning of our system, every system that is working in our body is regulated by three doshas. And these doshas are maintaining the health, maintaining the normalcy, maintaining the homeostasis, maintaining the equilibrium in our physiology. And if they are working properly, they are working in a manner, they are working in equilibrium, then health is intact. You are healthy, happy. And if these doshas are vitiated, or their equilibrium is disturbed, then it may cause the abnormal physiology. This abnormal physiology will convert into pathology. Pathology will convert it into disease. So the the basic the base of health is normal functioning of doshas, normal functioning of three doshas, and that is the aim of a person. That is the aim of the normal person, to maintain his health or her health. He and she has to maintain the normal equilibrium, the normal functioning of three doshas. So these are the very important factors, and to uh, maintain it, and if you want to keep them in equilibrium, you have to understand it, what dosha is. So the functions of dosha, if you want to understand the functions of dosha, the properties of dosha, what the dosha are, what are their functions, you have to understand the composition of tridosha. That is the most important thing, because a student often asks that we don't see tridosha in body. Show us where tridosha lies, how they look, how we can identify, how we can see with our senses. But I must say that it is not necessary to see the dosha by our physical senses. The important thing is their actions, their result on our body, that we can observe. So it's not necessary to see everything, because our senses has limited uh, their strength. Everything in the world we cannot see by our senses. There are so many things. They are called atindriya. We cannot see them, but they are there. Their actions are there. Their results are there. So it's not important that whether we can see the tridosha by our senses or not. Important thing is that Acharya has told us that these are the factors which affect the doshas. These are the factors that vitiate the doshas. These are the factors which suppress the dosha. These are the factors elevate the dosha. They are there, and we can understand uh, by studying the Kriya Sharir. So the composition is very important to understand the composition. So Tridosha is made up of Panch Mahabhut, the basic element, the basic fragment by which the whole world is made up of. The five elements, the ether, air, fire, water, and earth, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, and Prithvi. These five basic elements which created the whole world, the living, the non-living, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the gross substances, the subtler substances, each and every thing, each and every atom or is smaller than atom, everything is made up of Panch Mahabhut. So the Tridoshas are also composed by Panch Mahabhut. The one thing. Second thing is Tridosha is uh, made up of three guna also. The three gun theory, the Sattva Raj Tam, which are the immortal properties of this universe, which are uh, the uh, the properties which are lying in the universe, lying in this world before the world is emerged. Means originally from the Prakriti, the Triguna are there. So they are also there in the composition of Tridosha. So Panch Mahabhut and Triguna. That we have to understand before understanding the Tridosha. Because all the functions of Tridoshas are influenced by Panch Mahabhut and Triguna. Like Vata dosa is composed of Vayu and Akash. Pitta dosa is composed of Agni, dominated. Kapha dosa is dominated by Prithvi and Jala. Although three doshas are Panchbhautik, every dose is composed of five elements. But some of them are dominated in each dosha. In Vata dosha, the Vayu Mahabhut and Akash Mahabhut are in majority and are playing the major role, are contributing the major part in the composition of Vata dosha. So the action of Vata dosha is very much similar to the Vayu Mahabhut. And now Acharya has told us, because in the earlier days we were not having a very good equipped laboratories. We were not having well developed equipment to understand anything. We were not having a very rich and a very sophisticated instrument. So what was the way to understand our science? The Acharya says that nature gives us everything. We don't need a sophisticated lab. We have to observe outside. We have to observe the world outer side. Because Acharya says, Yavanta Murtimanta Bhav Vishesta Tavanta Sharire, means the factors, the elements that we see outside, everything is lying inside. The similar way, whatever we have our in our body, everything is available outside. So if you want to understand your body, you have to observe the outer world. They have given many examples, like the Vata dosha in our Sharir is working like the Vayu Mahabhut working outside. And now you can imagine what Vayu is doing in the outer world. It's moving everything. It's moving everything. It is settler. It is drying everything. It is changing everything. The Vayu Mahabhut is the air in the atmosphere is changing the weather, its speed and its temperature and its movement is very important. The similar way, the Vata dosha is working our inside. The same way, the Vata dosha is moving everything in our body. All the motions, all the activities, initiations, everything is carried by Vata dosha. Either it is circulatory system, digestive system, endocrinal system, excretory system, locomotory system. Wherever you see any movement, wherever you see any motion, that is all controlled by Vata dosha. And moreover, all the system that are carrying these motions are controlled by nervous system, the central and peripheral and autonomic nervous system. They are controlling our whole body. So the Vata dosh in our body is connected with our nervous system, because the motion, any movement that is happening in our body is regulated by our nervous system. So the Vata dosh is working with our nervous system. So how we can understand? How we could understand? By seeing the outer world. So for the rishis, for the acharyas, they told us that the whole world, the world is a laboratory. You don't need a very sophisticated instrument. You need your observation. The sixth sense, you have to develop sixth sense. This is a very important thing. If you want to understand Ayurveda, the five senses are not sufficient. There are so many things that you cannot pursue by your senses. You have to go beyond senses. That is sixth sense. If one has developed his sixth sense better, he will having a better understanding of Ayurveda. So this is very important. The same way, if we go to the next dosha, Pitta dosha, is compared with the fire in the outside, the Agni Mahabhut. Acharya says, as the outer world, if we see that if we want to cook our food, what do? We use Agni, we use fire. The same way, in our body also, if we want to digest our food, we have to use our Agni, that is Pitta. And other properties of Agni Mahabhut is temperature, heat, energy. So the Pitta dosha is also connected with our digestion, metabolism, heat production. So when we observe the thing, when we develop our observation, the things become very simpler. Our understanding become very smooth. There is no confusion, because Acharya has described the things very simple way. But the vision, the understanding is to be properly. We have that vision. We should have that vision to understand it. The things are very simple. Likewise, for the kapha dosha, Acharya says that it is made up of Prithvi and Jal Mahabhut. So, if we look at the Prithvi, it a gross, its size is gross, it absorbs everything, it is less movable compared to air and fire, but it is receiving everything, it absorbing everything, it tolerating everything. Likewise, the kapha dosha is a bundle of energy. Is a bundle of energy. Is a sound element. Is a force of our body. And every force the stamina, the immune power, the molecular force, everything is controlled by kapha dosha. So this is how we have to understand the Tridosha, by understanding the Panch Mahabhut. In the same way, the Triguna theory, Triguna theory, as I have told earlier, that Triguna is the immortal properties that is lying in the world even before the origin of this universe. It is permanently there with the Prakriti, it is permanently there with the nature. So Tridosha are made up of Panch Mahabhut, and Panch Mahabhut are originated from the Trigunas, the Sattva, Raj and Tama. These are the three gunas which created everything. The Panch Mahabhut also created by Triguna. So to understand the Tridosha, we must have a look at Triguna properties. What Sattva Guna does, what Raja Guna, and what Tama Guna is. Because the Vata dosh is Raja Bahut, the Pitta dosh is Sattva Bahut, and the Kapha dosh is Tama Bahut. So when we look into the Vata dosh, it is Raja Bahut. What Raja Guna is explained for, what Raja Guna represent. Raja Guna is speed. Raja Guna is describe the speed. And what Sattva Guna? Sattva Guna is for intellect, and Tama Guna is inertic. So the Vata dosh is Raja Bahul, means it has speed. Speed is the property, is the unique property of Vata dosh. The Pitta dosh, the Sattva Guna is there, so the intellect is the unique property of Pitta dosh. Kapha with Tama Bahula, Tama means the inertia, inert property. Inert means a bundle of energy. Energy is there, but it is inert. It's not used, but it's very powerful. It's like atom bomb, which is not used, that we are not using, but there is a huge amount of energy is there. So that is Kapha dosha. So by understanding the Panch Mahabhut and Triguna, we can better understand Tridosha, their action in our body, their influences, how can we control it, because everything is made up of Panch Mahabhut, so our food is. So anything, if we want to maintain the equilibrium, we should control our food and our lifestyle, because the both thing, food and lifestyle, ahar and vihar, both are influencing the our tridosha equilibrium. And the third factor, which is the time, which is kala, which affect our tridosha. But we don't, that the kal and the time is not in our control. But food and lifestyle, by changing food and lifestyle, we can control the equilibrium of our tridosha. And what about kala? What about time? Then we have to adopt accordingly. There are 6 seasons. Acharya has told us. Every year we have 6 seasons, and every season has a specific effect on tridosha. And if you want to maintain the good health, if you want to maintain the normal health, you have to adjust in every season. They have told us Varsha, Sharad, Hemant, Shishir, Basant, Grishma. These are the 6 ritus, and in every ritu, in every season, there is ups and downs of tridosha, which is normal. There are normal ups and downs. So we have to adjust accordingly. So these are the three things that can be uh, monitored, that can be controlled, that can be that have we have to understand to maintain the homeostasis of our body. That is very important to understand Tridosha. Apart from Tridosha, the second most important concept is Prakriti, a very beautiful concept. Prakriti. What Prakriti is? Prakriti is a psychosomatic constitution of a person, and it is it is the constitution which is decided at the time of fertilization. At the time of fertilization itself, the composition, the constitution of a person is formed, and it is unchangeable in the lifetime. So, how the person will be in his lifetime, how he will grow, what will be his mental abilities, what will be his physical strength, what will be his uh, mental strength, that is decided at the time of conception. This is called Prakriti, and which is unchangeable. But we have freedom. What freedom? We have the freedom to develop our strength. We have we have the freedom to uh, elaborate our mental strength that we have inside. So by knowing the Prakriti, we can uh, we can maintain our health, we can maintain our strength, we can develop our personality, and by understanding the Prakriti, we not only we maintain our health, but we can treat a patient very nicely, because after understanding the Prakriti, we get the clue for diagnosis of disease, we get a guideline to treat a patient. So Prakriti is one of the most important factor that is uh, needed to be studied very sincerely, very thoroughly, and you cannot find any science this beautiful concept of Prakriti, and you will find it very closer to the modern genetics system. But it is more than genetics. There are some limitations in the genetics, but Prakriti is unlimited concept, and it can be applied in any country or in any situation. And this is the uniqueness of Kriya Shari, Tridosha, and the second is Prakriti. There are number of concepts are there, but for in a very small, in a very short time, in a very introductory lecture, I just want to say that Ayurveda Kriya Shari has a great potential to understand our human system, to our human physiology. It has great potential, and every person who want to understand Kriya Shari, he has to begin with these basic concepts. Then he can understand more uh, the uniqueness, the important things that are there in the Kriya Shari. So, I am very thankful to the organizer of Youth of Ayurveda who gave me this opportunity to talk to the people for this introduction of Kriya Shari. If we get more opportunity, if we get more time, then we will discuss this concept in a very detail. But for today, I just want to thank to Dr. Dhanvantri Jha and his team who gave me this opportunity to come to the this seekers of Ayurveda. So thank you very much.